Right now, if you need a blood transfusion, doctors can match your blood type in minutes and give you blood that's safe. For most of human history, that same procedure was essentially a coin flip between saving a life and ending one. Nobody understood why. Some patients survived transfusions perfectly fine. Others died almost immediately. And for centuries, doctors had no idea what separated the two outcomes. The idea of transferring blood between people is actually old. In 1667, French physician Jean-Baptiste Denis attempted one of the first documented transfusions, using blood from a lamb and injecting it into a sick young man. The patient survived, and Denis tried the technique again on other patients. Some lived. Then, in 1667, a patient named Antoine Mauroy died after a repeated transfusion, and Denis was accused of murder. Animal-to-human transfusions were banned across much of Europe shortly after, and the entire idea nearly died along with the reputation of anyone attempting it. For almost 2 centuries afterward, transfusion remained mostly abandoned, considered too dangerous and unpredictable to pursue seriously. When it was attempted at all, results stayed wildly inconsistent. Some patients recovered, others suffered violent reactions, fevers, and death within hours, and nobody could explain the pattern. Blood was blood, as far as anyone understood. There was no reason, biologically speaking, why one person's blood should behave any differently inside another person's body. That assumption turned out to be completely wrong, and the person who proved it was an Austrian physician named Karl Landsteiner. In 1900, Landsteiner began mixing blood samples from different individuals in his laboratory, simply out of scientific curiosity. He noticed something strange. When he combined blood from certain people, the red blood cells clumped together violently. When he combined blood from other pairs, nothing happened at all. The blood mixed smoothly, like it belonged together. Landsteiner realized this clumping reaction wasn't random. It followed a consistent, predictable pattern based on specific markers present on the surface of red blood cells. By 1901, he had identified 3 distinct blood groups, which he labeled A, B, and C, later renamed to O. A 4th group, AB, was discovered shortly after by 2 of his colleagues. For the first time in history, humans understood why some transfusions worked perfectly while others killed the patient almost instantly. It wasn't luck, it was biology, and biology had rules that could finally be tested and predicted in advance. The clumping reaction Landsteiner observed happens because the immune system treats mismatched blood as a foreign invader, attacking it violently, exactly the way it would attack a dangerous infection. Mixing incompatible types doesn't just fail to help a patient, it actively triggers the body's own defense systems to attack the newly introduced blood cells, often with fatal consequences within minutes or hours. Landsteiner's discovery earned him the Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine in 1930, but the practical impact took time to fully unfold. Hospitals slowly adopted blood typing procedures over the following decades. By World War I, blood typing and transfusion had become organized enough to save thousands of soldiers who would have previously died from severe blood loss on the battlefield, marking one of the first times a scientific discovery directly reshaped how wartime medicine operated at scale. Later discoveries added even more precision. In 1940, Landsteiner and another researcher named Alexander Wiener identified the Rh factor, an additional marker on red blood cells that explained a separate set of dangerous transfusion reactions. Modern blood banks, refrigerated storage, and large-scale blood donation systems all trace directly back to Landsteiner's original discovery in that Vienna laboratory. What used to be pure chance became something predictable, testable, and safe, transforming transfusion from a terrifying gamble into one of modern medicine's most routine, life-saving procedures. So here's the full picture. For centuries, doctors performed transfusions blindly, watching some patients live and others die with absolutely no explanation for the difference. It took one curious scientist mixing blood samples in a lab simply to see what would happen, to reveal that the human body had been running an invisible identification system the entire time. The next time you or someone you love needs a transfusion, remember that the simple act of checking a blood type first, something now considered basic medical routine, used to be the single piece of missing information that determined whether a transfusion saved a life or ended one.